Welcome back to the Northwestern Wildcats Dynasty on NCAA Football 14, guys, aka College Football Revamped. And we have reached the end of season 1, and what a start to this dynasty, man. We finished the season 8-5, and look at that, man. Your boys are ranked number 25 in the nation. Now, in today's video, we'll look back over the season, take a look at the schedule, take a look at the stats. We'll prepare to go into the offseason looking at recruiting, all the players that have already committed, and the one player that still needs to come in. Should be a fun one, man. So let's jump right in. So as I mentioned before, our Wildcats finished the season 8-5. And we started things off with a close, real close win over UTEP, 28-25. And then we followed it up with a loss to Duke, 28-29. At this point, I kind of knew that we had a scrappy team. I believe in this UTEP game, we were down early, 17-7, and we were able to put up 14 points in the third and 7 in the fourth to hold off the Miners. And then the Duke game, I believe it came down to a 2-point conversion that we didn't. Yeah, the 2-point conversion that had, the press questioning Darnell Autry and his coaching. If we would have went for the extra point, we would have tied the game and went to overtime. But we were looking to get the win. And then we followed up with 2 wins in a row over a really good Cincinnati squad, and then a touchdown win over Rutgers. But then the losing streak started. We went and lost to Michigan State big time by 28. Then we made it close with Minnesota, 30-24, and then Iowa. This game, I was so upset. I felt like we should have won this game, but we choked it away in the fourth quarter, or actually in the second half period. We put up 24 points in the first half, gave up a touchdown in the third, and then in the fourth quarter, we just forgot how to play football, giving up 17 points and ended up falling by 3 points. But then we were able to turn it back around and get back-to-back wins over Nebraska and a ranked Nebraska team. I believe Nebraska was ranked top 10 at this point. And then we beat Wisconsin, and they were ranked in the top 5. So two big wins over 2 historically strong programs. And we won in convincing fashion in both games. We turned around and lost to Maryland and then closed out the season on a 3-game winning streak, beating Purdue, beating Illinois, and then handling business in the bowl game, coming from behind. I think we were down by 20-plus points to win this game 50-44. Taking a look at the stats on the year, Jason Mitchell had a lot of up and downs this year, right? It took him forever to get going in some games. He was making some bad reads in some games, but he finished with 3,414 yards, 19 touchdowns with 13 interceptions. Again, his second year as a starter, his first year as a starter in this program, he led the team to 8 wins. I can't say anything really bad about him. Like I mentioned, slow starts here and there, but once he got going, he was dotting up. We did have Tyrell Carter come into the game. We had to burn his red shirt because we had 2 quarterbacks go down in one game. Brent Porter is the other quarterback. Again, I just don't know what's going to happen, man. As of right now, I put a spreadsheet together and have like all the players who should be coming back, along with the freshmen that are incoming. We should have 6 quarterbacks on our roster next year, which is way too many. I'm expecting some people to transfer out. And I hope, and I hate to say it like this, I hope it's Brent Porter. He's just not the type of quarterback I'm looking for this team. On the ground, shout out to Charlie Garcia. He was our offense for majority of the season. 189 carries, 1,093 yards, and 15 rushing touchdowns. At 6'1", 190, Charlie is a workhorse. Again, his first year starting, getting a lot more touches, 92 speed, 88 acceleration, 83 agility. If he could come back for his senior season and put up maybe 1,500, 1,600 yards next year, he could get drafted. Jason Mitchell was second on our team in rushing, 160 yards and 2 scores. Paul Nelson, interesting back, 115 yards, 5 scores. As a redshirt freshman, I want to see him kind of get better in the offseason. I want to see him get faster. I want to see the acceleration get up. I want to see the carrying get better too. Becoming more of a elusive type back. He's listed as a speed back, but he doesn't have really good speed. We have Brent Porter, come in. He was our scrambling quarterback, 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. And here's the big fella, man, B.J. Blygen. 6 carries, 7 yards, 4 touchdowns. He was a goal line assassin for us. Now, out wide, Charlie Garcia did lead this team in grabs with 78 for 418 yards and 1 touchdown. With these sliders that we play on, the screen play is the only way to really get the quarterback warmed up. And a lot of the majority of the passes are going to be on the dink and dunk or on a screen play in the first quarter, like the first few downs, first couple drives of the first quarter. So that's why you see 78 catches for Garcia. But Daniel Odom was second on the team, 52 grabs, 636, and 3 scores. Roger Setzer, man, he was our possession wide receiver. If we needed to make a tough throw and we needed a tough catch, he was our guy. 39 grabs, 638, and 6 scores. Todd Elliott came on way later in the season. The bowl game, he really showed what he could do. 35 grabs, 556, and 2 touchdowns. Adrian Butler, the big tight end, 6'6", 245, 29 grabs, 428, and 4 scores. John Reed, another senior wide receiver, 23 catches, 437, and a touchdown. Trent Barnes, I'm excited to have him back next year. I think he could be a really big weapon for us. 9 grabs, 149 and a touchdown. And then Andrew Hayward, another senior, 7 catches, 128 and a score. Leon Sandcastle playing on both sides of the ball, 6 catches for 42 yards. On the offensive line, it's a lot of work that needs to be done, man. A lot of work needs to be done on this offensive line. Thankfully, they are all young. Adam Gaither gave up 6 sacks. Josh Covington gave up 5. So did Charlie Wallace. You've got John Robertson, on the right side, giving up 3 sacks. Peter Lawrence, he gave up 2 sacks. And then Will Atkins, he only gave up 1 sack. But I'll say this, though. They were opening up some big run lanes for Charlie this year. Some big run lanes. One thing we're going to have to work on the offseason is pass protection. Again, this group is very young. A lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors, and a couple freshmen there as well. They'll all be back next year. So the cohesiveness and the teamwork will be there for us. And this could be a scary unit going into season 2. To the defense side of the ball we go. I think we found a star in free safety Mike Sisk, man. He leads the team with 73 tackles this year, 3 assisted tackles. I think he might have had 3 interceptions. Yeah, so this guy plays all over the field, and he returns kicks for us as well. Just a really good player to be only a sophomore. 96 speed, 98 acceleration with 87 agility. He's got 78 man coverage, 74 man coverage, 78 zone coverage. With 77 play rec. I'm expecting next season to be an all-pro season for him. Not an all-pro season, all-American season. He was an all-American first team this year. I'm expecting him to do the same next year. Second on the team is David James. We have him playing a hybrid safety position. He's like our sub linebacker package. 63 tackles, 15 TFLs, and a sack on the year. 3 interceptions for him. This kid played all over the field. I really didn't want to put him over the top with 81 speed, but he's got great acceleration, great hit power, and great tackling, great pursuit as well. I'm expecting him to come back next year as well. He'll be a part of that sub linebacker package, even though we're bringing in somebody who's going to be equally as fast as he is. Brian Rogers, third on the team with 61 tackles. Donald Hughes, this guy's going to be interesting next year. Another player from Canada, 51 tackles, 7 TFLs. He also had a sack and 1 interception. We had him playing in the slot, and he was getting toasted in the slot. Going into next year, he will be our cornerback number 1, our best returning cornerback, I should say. I can't say that he'll be corner number 1 because we got a true freshman that's coming in that I believe could be a star for us on the back half. We'll take a look at him in a few minutes. But Hughes is going to have to do a lot better here in his second season, or in our second season. Because this past year wasn't that great. Terry Cook at free safety, he had 46 tackles. Louis Stewie, 42 tackles, 6 TFLs, a sack, and he had 4 interceptions. Leon Sandcastle, the redshirt freshman, 32 tackles. Tyrone Gaddis, 31 tackles. Alex Harris had 31. Curtis Clark with 26. You had Travis Kennedy with 25. Mike Kraft with 23. Carlos Mays with 20. You had Kenny Cannon with 16. Kenny Taylor, he had 12. TJ Randall with 6, and Marcus Sharp with 6 as well. Take a look at the TFLs, man. We were in the backfield a lot this year. A lot. Harris had 25, Gaddis with 20, Kennedy with 15, James had 15, Sandcastle with 14, Mays had 8, Hughes and Rogers each with 7. In the sack department, 2 guys break double digits, man. Alex Harris, Travis Kennedy each go double digits. Harris has 11, Kennedy with 10. Then you've got Mays down here with 3. Same with Gaddis. Richardson with 2. B.J. Blygen had a sack. Sutherland, Sandcastle, Stewart, and Hughes each with 1. There's Harris down there with 1. Clark had 1 as well. James with 1. Turnover department, Louis Stewie led the squad with 4 interceptions. Mike Sisk had 3. James had 3 as well. Rogers with 2. Hughes, Sandcastle, and Clark each with 1. Again, I would love to see these numbers go up a little bit more. Lewis Stewart, I think, is going to be a really good player for us next season. He could truly be our number 1 corner. He's got great speed, 90 speed, 93 acceleration, 87 agility. The man coverage, zone coverage, really great. He can press as well. He's got great play rec, solid pursuit and jumping. I think going into his senior year, he could break somewhere between 92, 93 speed and come back in with like 85 to 86 man coverage. We're going to have a really good player on our hands. Forced fumbles, David James forced 3. You got Taylor, Randall, Kennedy, Gaddis, Harris each with 1. Fumble recoveries, we can't look at Trent Barnes because those were kick 6s. But Thompson, Mays, Hughes, Sisk, and Stone each with 1. Defensive touchdowns, Louis Stewie with 2 pick 6s. Rogers, Sisk, Barnes, and James each with a defensive touchdown. Kicking game, our true freshman kicker, Jake Maddox, went 7 of 9 with a log of 37, but he was perfect on extra points, which is such a good look for him. Again, one of those players I expect to get better as the offseason comes along. Punting game, Will Davis, 40 kicks, 1,536 yards. He averaged 38 yards per punt. He had none blocked, but 7 of them inside the 20 with 5 touchbacks. In the return game, Mike Sisk had a kickoff return for a touchdown, 809 yards total. And then Mike Stone was our main punt returner, 12 returns for 139 yards. Taking a look at the passing leaders in college football, and our guy, Jason Mitchell, finishes 4th with 3,414 yards behind Harwell from Baylor, Parham from A&M, Johnson from Nebraska, then there's Mitchell, and there's Cantrell from Cincinnati. So we played against 2 of these guys in Johnson and Cantrell. Taking a look at the nation's top rushers, Washington from Army, he had over 2,000 yards. Jones from Oklahoma, he had 1,898. Shaw from Florida State, 1,783. Smith from ULM, he had 1,763. Hefner, the Heisman Trophy winner, 1,694 yards. And then Charlie Garcia finishes 72nd with just under 1,100 yards. In the receiving game, Carter from NIU with 1,366 yards. You got McCarthy from Penn State with 1,278. Rich from Nebraska with 1,212. McCray from Washington finishes with 1,172 yards. Mark from Oklahoma, he had 1,145 yards. And then Setzer, who was our number 1 receiver in terms of yards, there it is, 638 yards. Tackles, Sisk, Rogers, James leads the nation in tackles, followed by Carpenter from Tulane, and then Washington from Arkansas State. Sack department, Love from Michigan State with 11.5 sacks. Henry from San Jose State has 11.5. Alex Harris, our defensive end, he finishes with 11 sacks. That's 3rd in the nation. Robinson from Michigan had 10.5. And a Kennedy, our other defensive lineman, finishes with 10. Interception department, Robinson from Western Kentucky has 8. Harris from Arizona with 7. Same for Mitchell from UTEP. Miller also from Baylor had 7. Davis from Wyoming with 6. And Louis Stewie from our Northwestern Wildcats finishes with 4. So here's a look at your final polls from season 1. And Oklahoma, your national champs, finishing at number 1, 12-2 on the season, followed by Michigan. They climb up 3 spots. California up 4 spots to 3. A&M falls 3 spots to 4. Penn State up 4 spots to 5. Utah up 5 spots to 6. Miami jumps 7 spots to 7th. You got TCU up 4 spots to 8. Florida State drops 7 spots to 9. You got Wisconsin falling 6 spots to 10. Minnesota is in at 11. Air Force is in at 12. Got Colorado falling 7 spots to 13. You've got ULM finishing 14th. Hawaii in at 15. Army 16th. Ball State in at 17. Navy is in at 18. Eastern Michigan 19. Mississippi State drops 12 spots to number 20. You got Alabama in at 21. Kentucky 22. Baylor 23. West Virginia in at 24. And rounding out your top 25, your Northwestern Wildcats. So let's take a look at this team as we prepare to go into the off season. A lot of young players across the board, man. Jason Mitchell will be back hopefully for his senior campaign. We've got Charlie Garcia. He should be back for his senior campaign. Again, we're going to have a loaded backfield as well. We've got 2 players coming off of their red shirts next year, along with a recruit that'll be coming in playing running back. At fullback, I'm thinking about moving Jason Thompson to tight end. He's 6'1", 240. We really don't run a fullback in our offense. He's got 80 speed with 82 acceleration. Solid catching ability. 64 catches isn't too bad. He's a solid blocker as well with 72 pass block, 65 run block. I'm thinking about moving him to tight end next year because we're actually losing a tight end and we did not recruit one. Wide receiver room, we're losing 3 key players, Roger Setzer, John Reed, and then Todd Elliott. So that means players like J.J. Casper, Lonnie Jefferson, who's going to be coming off his red shirt, Trent Barnes, K.J. Washington, and Kevin Morgan are going to have to step up to go with Daniel Odom, who's coming back for his junior year. We do have, I believe, 2 wide receivers right now in our recruiting class, one that we still have to bring in and one that's already committed. So we're trying to fill those gaps. At tight end, Adrian Butler, we're hoping he's back for his senior campaign, 80 overall. Andrew Hayward is the tight end that we will be losing this year. Kennard Ingram will be a sophomore, but he needs a lot of work. Only a 53 overall, so that's why I'm thinking about moving that fullback over to tight end. Also, another player I thought that could play tight end is Lonnie Jefferson at 6'4", 220. He could be kind of a Travis Kelce type player, 84 speed, 81 agility, 84 acceleration. The only bad part is he can't block to save his life, but he's got great hands at 76 overall. So just a thought, maybe moving Lonnie Jefferson over to tight end, get him on the field. He could be a dynamic weapon for us in the offense. As I mentioned before, a very young offensive line. Peter Lawrence will be back for his senior campaign. Chris Williams, only a redshirt freshman. He could get better as the offseason comes along. Josh Covington, a true sophomore, 81 overall. Expecting him to be better next year. Will Atkins, the same for him. He's a redshirt sophomore. We're losing one player here on the line. That's Bobby Smith. He'll be a senior. He'll graduate this year. But we have 2 really good centers here. I'm thinking about kicking Nas Owens to the outside. I'm thinking about it because he's 6'7", 340. Playing center, that's a really tall center. So he might be better suited at either the guard position or at right tackle. Talking about right guard, Charlie Wallace should be back for his senior campaign. So should Gabe Williams for his junior campaign. And then we have Kyle Bonner coming off his red shirt. And at right tackle, as I mentioned, John Roberson will be back for his senior campaign. But we do need to add more depth to that offensive line for sure. Defensively, a lot of our key players will be back. We do lose Tim Jordan to graduation, but we're getting Cody Kallmeyer off of his red shirt. Alex Harris led this team in sacks, I believe, this year. He'll be back. Cody Harris, he'll be back as well. You got Tyrone Gaddis graduating. That's an impact player right there. Tyrone Gaddis had a really great first season for us. John Richardson, he's graduating as well. And that means Arthur Barnes will be our only right defensive end. But I think we did a great job recruiting defensive linemen this year. And I'm excited to see what these guys can do once they get into our system. Travis Kennedy should be back. Carlos Mays will be back. I'm excited to see what B.J. Bligent can do on the defensive line. We got to get a rotation with these defensive linemen because I feel like each one brings a different specialty to the team. Tommy Sutherland will also be back. He's only a redshirt freshman. My concern is that a few of these guys might transfer out. I'm going to be honest with you. Out at linebacker, Marcus Sharp, expecting him to be back for his his senior year. We've got Doug Franz. I want to get him on the field. He's got an interesting skill set, 82 speed, 83 acceleration. He's got solid hip power and strength. But the one thing he can't do is he really does not get off of blocks very well with only a 71 block shed. But I would love to see what he could do with that 82 speed. And then we got Steve Nix, a redshirt sophomore. I feel like he's more of like a safety that converted to a linebacker, but he's not fast. 73 speed with only 85 acceleration. He's going to have to put in some work this offseason and some weight too, because 211 at linebacker is very small. At middle linebacker, Kenny Taylor should be back for his senior year. So should Mike Kraft. Both got a lot of playing time this year. Kenny Taylor at 6'3", 230. 81 speed, 95 acceleration, great tackling ability. Just the block shed is not really there. That's why you saw a lot more of Mike Kraft. 80 speed, 95 acceleration with 80 block shed, 82 play rec, 79 hip power. He's got a 78 finesse move at 6 foot 239. Could be a pass rusher for us. And then there's Tyler James. We're losing him to graduation. On the other side, Kenny Cannon is an interesting player. 85 speed, 80 acceleration. He's got 86 block shed. I wish he had some kind of finesse or power move because that would make it a lot easier to get him on the field. But we'll see what we could do with him in his senior year. Hopefully he's back. Ronnie Robinson, 6'7", 231 from Chicago, 73 overall. Redshirt sophomore, 80 block shed and 77 hip power. Again, I wish these guys had a little bit more of a trait, like one thing that kind of made him stand out from the other. Same for Marlon Glover. He'll be back for his sophomore year, 83 speed. A lot of guys who've got solid speed, but that's about it. Corner is going to be an interesting room next year. We lose Brian Rogers, who was an important part of this defense. Donald Hughes moves up to him and Lewis Stewart will battle for CB1. Don't forget we have a freshman corner that's going to come in, and I honestly think he'll be the best corner on this team next year. Then you've got Curtis Clark. He's back for his junior year, 6'3", 180 or 6'3", 183 with 90 speed. We lose Mike Stone. He was more of a returner for us. Nathan Beast comes off of his red shirt next year. I'm excited to get him on the field with 92 speed, 93 acceleration. And then Bobby Britton, we lose him as well to graduation. So this is going to be an interesting room next year. I think we move Leon Sandcastle over to corner, get him out of that safety position. I think he's better suited to play corner. Also, I think that we will move. I think Curtis Clark was the guy I was thinking of, right? Yeah, Curtis Clark. I'm thinking about moving him to strong safety because he has a better zone coverage than man coverage. We run a lot of man coverage on this team, and I think moving him to moving him to strong safety or a safety period will be a better fit for him. As I mentioned before, Mike Sisk is back next year. We do lose Terry Cook. Corey Griffin is a player that did not see a lot of playing time, 86 speed, 85 acceleration with 76 zone coverage. But this freshman right here, Kenneth Orange, I like him a lot. 5'10", 180, 86 speed, 95 acceleration. He's got 76 hip power, 80 press, 76 catching. Only thing we need to work on is the coverage ability. 71 man, 58 zone. I think if we can get those up this in the offseason, he could be an impact player for us in a couple years. David James back for his senior year. Again, he's going to be more of our box safety, playing that sub linebacker spot. TJ Randall saw a little bit of playing time, 86 speed, 93 acceleration, but he's not that great in coverage. More of a hybrid kind of guy to me, honestly. He has great jumping, can get off blocks very well. And then in Leon Sandcastle, as I mentioned before, I think we kick him over to corner next year with 91 speed, 91 acceleration, 73 man, 72 zone. He played a lot of football this year. And he showed flashes. Now it's time to see what he can do in coverage. And then Jake Maddox, he's back, and so is Will Davis. So let's hit the recruiting trail. We are sitting at number 65 in the nation. Now, if you guys remember back to the first episode of this series, we have a lot of rules in place because of what happened last year. We're only allowed to recruit 3-star and under prospects right now. And we can only get, I believe it's 16. So we lost half of our scholarships. Right now, 13 prospects already committed. That puts us at number 65 in the nation. And I honestly think that we did a really good job recruiting. We got our first player that signed up was Alonzo Lucas from Santa Clarita, California, 6'5", 247, the number 35 ranked defensive end in this class. And I think we move him inside. I think we might kick him into like a D tackle position with the 64 speed, 80 strength, 74 power move. He's got a great tackle. Gets off blocks really. It's pretty solid. Again, kind of light in the butt at 247. We come in, probably put another like 40 pounds of muscle on him. He could be a really good 3 technique for us. At quarter, we picked up George McCray, also from California. This guy is from Santa Monica, 6'2", 195, 3-star prospect, 87 speed. He's got 71 man, 75 zone, 76 press. So he could come in and I think he could be a nickel for us, or in some formations could play a little safety. I'm excited to see what he can do. I love the 87 speed and 93 acceleration. We picked up a quarterback. Here's one of 2 quarterbacks that came in on this recruiting class. Greg Landrum, 6'3", 203, 3-star prospect from Rochester Hills, Michigan, number 42 ranked quarterback in this class. And he's more of your stereotypical pocket passer, 81 throw power, 71 throw accuracy. He has 0 speed. So that's a bit concerning for us. We do like to have mobile quarterbacks in this offense, especially in our read option plays. But we'll see what he could do here. Offensive line help, Jeremy Hall from Illinois, 6'6", 305, 3-star prospect. 75 pass block, 70 run block, 75 impact block. At 6'6", 305, could play all across the line. He could be a candidate to be kicked outside to right tackle as well. I think he might actually fit better at the tackle position. One of a couple athletes that we picked up, this is Matt Heath from Florida, 5'10", 176, the number 46 ranked athlete in this class. And honestly, I think he's more of a running back, 83 speed. He's got 81 carrying, but that's really it. There's nothing that jumps off the page. Could be a wide receiver. He's got 67 catching, 70 route running. So I'm interested to see where he could end up on this team. At outside linebacker, Justin Tyson. This is one of those players I'm excited to see get on the field, man. 6'5", 222, 3-star prospect from Sweetwater, Texas. And I think he's going to be a dog. 79 speed, 77 acceleration, 72 tackle. He's got 72 block shed, 66 zone. I think in our base offense, he could be a star. Another defensive end that's going to help us out is Brian Scott from Alabama. 6'1", 290. He's number 157 in this class, but I think that's just – I think they kind of lowball his number. 79 speed, 77 acceleration, great power move, really good finesse move, solid block shed, and he's going to hit you hard, and he's got great pursuit. One thing I wanted to do on this defensive line is get faster, and I think Brian Scott brings that for us. Up the middle, we are losing one middle linebacker to graduation. I think next year we lose 2, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, we lose 2 to graduation next season. So Jacob Mosley, getting him and recruiting this year from Oklahoma, 6'2", 236 was imperative. He's got 85 speed, 86 acceleration, 80 agility, with 65 tackles, 77 pursuit, and 74 block shed. If he could sit for a year and learn from our 2 juniors right now who are going to be seniors, I think Mosley is going to be a steal in this recruiting class. Here's our second athlete of this class. This is Anthony Hall from Illinois, 6'2", 208, 3-star prospect. He's actually the number 72 ranked athlete in the class. 90 speed, 92 acceleration. Coverage corner, 70 man, 74 zone, 70 catching, 63 route running. So could play a little wide receiver and a little corner for us, 71 play rec as well. I think he'll be a great addition to the cornerback room. Definitely wanted to bring in another running back, somebody with a little bit more speed. This is Kevin Stanley from California, 5'11", 197. Comes in with 85 speed, with 82 acceleration, 73 elusiveness, 75 juke, and 77 spin with a 79 stiff arm. 61 catch, 62 route running. Again, kind of one of those kind of players where we can groom. He can sit behind Charlie, Paul Nelson, the other backs that we have, and just learn and just pick up and soak everything up. He can soak everything up like a sponge, and then when it's his time, he can come in and make an immediate impact. For some reason, we love recruiting in Canada, man. This is Jeff Cameron from Canada, 6 foot 203, 3-star prospect, number 54 in the class. And he's an athlete. 84 speed, 84 agility, 84 acceleration. He's got a cannon for an arm, 82 throw power, but he's not accurate with only 69 accuracy. Again, 6 quarterbacks on this roster going into next season. And I think Jeff Cameron could be one of those kind of guys where, hey, get him outside the pocket and just let him make plays. The accuracy is a bit concerning, though. Now, these next 2 players were deemed from jump must-get players. This is Chaz Vinay from North Carolina, 6'4", 244, a 3-star prospect. And I think this kid is going to be a star for our defense. 75 speed, 77 acceleration. He's got an 80 power move, 81 block shed, 83 tackle with 80 hit power and 83 pursuit. I'm not saying he's going to be a starter day one, but I'm saying that he's going to get a lot of playing time as soon as he touches campus. This dude has elite pass rusher written all over him. And then there's Kellen Stevenson from Maryland, 6'1", 173, 3-star prospect, number 57 in this class, and he is a gem. 87 speed, 87 acceleration with 79 agility. He's got 70 tackles, 79 play rec. But what I'm excited about, 88 man coverage with 84 zone and 83 press. This is why I said he could be cornerback number 1 for us going into season 2. Now, the last player on our board is wide receiver Wendell Grant from Georgia, 6'3", 192. He's the number 74 ranked wide receiver in this class, and we are in a battle right now with UAB, and this is why. Honestly, we all saw the speed, 94 speed with 83 acceleration and 74 agility. He is definitely a possession wide receiver who needs a lot of work. 61 catching is not anything that's amazing. But he's got 80 route running, 72 spec catch, 65 release, and 71 catch in traffic, 73 elusiveness. Again, the 94 speed would be our fastest wide receiver next season. The catching is a bit concerning. If we can get him in here, get him worked out, we got a lot of upperclassmen that he can work with and sit behind and learn. But I would expect this kid to get a lot of playing time early with that 94 speed. We need some speed on the outside, and I think Wendell Grant could be that guy. And thankfully, we only have him on our board left, so we're going to be able to put a ton of points into his recruiting. We'll just have to wait and see if UAB decides to do the same. So that's going to put a bow on season 1. We will be streaming the offseason. As of right now, the tentative day is Saturday. This coming Saturday, we're going to be streaming, going through the entire offseason. If you've ever been a part of any of our NCAA content where we've had an offseason, we always have that one surprising move that will leave us shocked. And I'm expecting the same thing here. Again, Saturday, I don't have a time, but check the community tab and also check back in Discord. I will announce it there. All right. Hey man, I appreciate you guys' support on this series, man. We're far from done. I'm telling you right now, we got to get a national championship and bring it home to Northwestern. It's going to get tougher, man. Like I mentioned, we got some teams from the Pac-12 that will now be moving into the Big Ten. How is conference realignment going to impact this squad moving forward? It's going to be fun to see, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're brand new. Don't forget to ring that bell and join the Noti Squad. And hit all those links down in my description. Follow your boy on Facebook, Twitter, and IG. And come through and join the Discord, fam. And we'll talk from the off-season live stream on Saturday. Have a great day, guys. 2 fingers in the air. Peace. Big shout out to all the members that support this channel. If you would like to become a member, check out the link down below.